Please welcome from backstage, Mr. Chris Dugdale.
I mean, from starting out at 5 years old with the magic set, you've run the whole gauntlet to the Pentagon.
Some things we're allowed to talk about, other things I can't. And they said, we heard about your act, we want to hire you for the Queen. Never been crapping my pants so much. She just turns to all her friends and goes,
It's absolutely impossible.
I'd never forget it. Then I go to Philip's table, he's hammered. The loveliest human being in the world is Beyoncé. I did a private show for her. I said, Jay-Z, spin me a tune. So he's on his phone.
No way.
Richard Branson, I've done a lot for him, none of which are repeatable on here, or else I will go to jail.
What sort of a guy was your dad?
I am going to get emotional now. I miss him every day of my life. Magnus, it broke my heart. You learn as you get older that asking for help is a strength, not a weakness.
I had a feeling you would have a good answer to this.
I urge anyone out there with a passion, just go for it. Everyone you know in 100 years will be dead. Go out there, do what you love. My dad, every time my head hit the pillow as a kid, he said, there's no such word as can't. You can do anything you want.
Don't you know we all cheer for Magnus Jay-Z? What will you do with the crowds, boys? Singing and dance so free.
Beautiful, beautiful listeners and fabulous viewers of the Onwards to Victory podcast. You are in for a singular treat today because I happen to have a world-famous super traveling banter merchant who has a great many stories and an absolutely fabulous head of hair. If you enjoy people that are good, you are going to love this episode. Please make a great deal of fuss for my guest today, the incredible magic superstar, Mr. Chris Dugdale.
What a welcome.
Hey!
That was heartfelt.
Yeah, I mean every word of it. I mean every word.
Thank you.
Well, speaking of sincerity, you are an excellent individual to have on here. Firstly, people should know a little bit about why they
Sure.
should give such a huge fuck about how fantastic you are. your
Sure.
own?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I got the proverbial magic set 5 years old. I was into, martial arts, big thing
Oh,
in my youth. Loved
Yeah.
sort of breaking people's noses and putting them down and not stopping when I should have stopped. And there's a guy who went on to be a very famous TV presenter, and we were sparring together. I threw him over and should have stopped the punch here and actually broke his nose. That was one that I felt bad about. But yeah, martial arts, tennis, badminton, soccer, football.
yeah.
And then magic came along, and it just captured my imagination.
Well, okay, so 5 years old, you got the magic set.
Mhm.
Like you got into the sleight of hand. I'm assuming started out
Straight
with
away,
close-up.
yeah, with very basic crap,
Yeah.
the plastic crap you all
Well,
get.
yeah.
But you got to start somewhere. And I just thought, there's something really intriguing about this. And then I ended up doing a show for the local Cub Scouts. And it was the first time a group of people had applauded something I did.
Aha.
And I thought, that's a freaking amazing feeling.
yeah.
And then I got the bug.
That was the bug. That was the first time you
Yep.
got the bug.
Yeah.
That's great that you remember that so specifically, that first time when you got that applause.
We
You go,
all remember
"Ooh,
our first
yeah,
time, baby.
yeah."
We all do. Not necessarily for good reasons, but we wish it could have lasted a bit longer. But hey ho,
Hey, well, look,
it is
we
the
get
way it
into
is.
that. Oh my gosh. A lot of magicians, generally, I mean, the ones that I know, exude a very specific virgin-y vibe. You know? You know what I'm
Not
talking
me,
about.
baby.
No,
Not
you.
me, baby.
This is what I want to get into, okay? Because, I mean, we had to get a special permit to have this much masculine virility in one place at one time.
Sure.
Yeah. I didn't know about your martial arts. That's a great thing.
You
keep that up now?
joking aside, it teaches kids discipline. If
Yeah.
I was the president of the world, I'd put every kid into martial arts because respect, discipline, strength,
Yeah.
training gives you good discipline to work hard, and to actually get stuff done. So yeah, I loved it. I did judo, then went to jiu-jitsu, then kickboxing. Ended up doing some kickboxing.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a Muay Thai guy. Hey.
But I wasn't very good at the kickboxing. I bet
No.
jiu-jitsu better, But yeah, just fascinated me really, and I think that discipline carried over into the magic. To be honest,
Oh, well, this is one of the things about, magic is, I mean, there's discipline there, there's psychology, there's,
Mhm.
I mean, there's social engineering, there's all of the fun stuff
sure,
that you can really get into.
and the real deep stuff,
Yeah.
If you want to go there,
You have gone there. I mean, from starting out at 5 years old with the magic set,
Mhm.
you've run the whole gauntlet all
Mhm.
the way to the Pentagon?
Yep.
Wait, can we talk about it?
We can. Well, some things we're allowed to talk about, other things I can't. It was under the previous administration. It started off with a show for the greatest minds of the Pentagon, and I'm not going to joke. I've never been crapping my pants so much. I saw the monitor backstage, and all I saw was 300 officers and their partners with their arms crossed like this,
Oh,
with a
great.
stern face and the jaw jutting out like that. And I get out, and honest to God, they ended up being one of the most interactive, charming, and funny audiences,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I did not expect.
Wow.
I did not expect. And at the end, this is a true story. They gave me a little medal. As I took the medal, I dedicated it to my dad. Now, I am going to get emotional now. I love my dad. I miss him every day of my life. I lost him when he was just 67 years old to cancer. And it broke Magnus, it broke my heart. That's the one part of my life where, you learn as you get older that asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. And I couldn't cope. So I went to counselors. They helped me through it. But I dedicated that medal to my dad. And I broke down at the Pentagon in front of 600 people. And the reason I tell you that is because on the first row, there was a general 4-star. I'd never met him before, but he saw that I was in pain emotionally. And he just jumped up onto the stage and he just held me as I was sobbing my heart out in front of 600 people. And it was, the biggest act of kindness to a stranger in terms of a physical hug that I'd ever experienced. And he just sensed that was what was needed at the moment. And I was sobbing my heart out, man. And eventually I came round and stuff, but it was very emotional. And then after that, they kind of saw the techniques that I deal with, and they asked me to come in to advise on deception, perception, redirection of attention, influence. So I was led into the heart of the Pentagon. Everything was confiscated. Your phone's in a Faraday box, your watch is in a Faraday box. They even escorted me to the toilet, and I'm like, hey, what's going on here, man? You stay outside the freaking cubicle.
Wow.
And then we're on. And a little bit like this, you got numerous cameras being, live streamed into bases around America. And I'm giving this lecture. It starts off with a demonstration. I get the highest rank out, blow his mind. And then we talk about the techniques, and the techniques that obviously two different, completely different businesses, but the techniques, they cross over.
Sure.
Magicians have got quite a long history with the armed forces. Jasper Maskin, going back to World War II, the Battle of El Alamein, which Churchill said was the defining moment of World War II, was completely engineered by a magician. So yes, I think we do have something to offer to people. It was fascinating, the Q&A that they gave. I mean, what interesting questions they had. And yeah.
This is at the sharp end of magic once you get through everything. Once people start talking social engineering. I mean, the story about the Pentagon, that's amazing.
What I'd say, Magnus, is if I was the richest man in the world, it wouldn't have given me the experiences as magic has. And that it's a very interesting idea. The doors that are open that you do not expect.
That's one of the things that is really fantastic about showbiz and magic. There's a whole other world that's going on underneath everything that people know.
It is.
That you really very rarely get to. I mean, we're all privy to it in this kind of weird way.
Sure.
But there's a lot of experiences we've had that money absolutely cannot buy.
And that money cannot buy your name, your dignity, that effect the crowd has when they're on their feet and they're cheering you. You can't buy that with money.
Absolutely.
You cannot buy that. And so, yeah, I love it, man. I am empowered by it. I urge anyone out there with a passion, just go for it. Look around, everyone in 100 years, give or take, will be dead. Go out there, do what you love, man. Because my dad, every time my head hit the pillow as a kid, he said, there's no such word as can't. You can do anything you want. If you work hard, you focus, you really can, man. You really, really can.
What sort of a guy was your dad?
He was lovely, man. You'd have loved him. He'd have come and had a beer with you. He'd have been the greatest company in the world. He was quite a sensible, lad growing up. He only got in trouble once as a kid, where he stuck a gun out of a window of a car at an old woman. And she basically fainted.
Oh!
And it was a proper replica looking gun.
Oh my gosh.
And ever since then, he was a good boy, but he had a wicked sense of humor. Wicked, man. He'd have to putting up with me, right?
Where did you come from? Where was your childhood at?
So I was born in France. Don't hold it against me. I'm a nice person.
Wow.
Raised in the UK, and I've performed all my life in America. So
Raised in the UK?
Just west of London, so Maidenhead, Windsor way.
Oh, right. Okay. I've gotten better at picking accents things. And when you were talking about earlier on getting into fighting, there's you've got kind of that charismatic London bruiser kind of thing somewhere under there.
I'm not an East Ender boy, but you know what I mean? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's like a very interesting combination of nationalities. You've been in these different places.
Sure.
And I know you're very cognizant of the things psychologically that you would pick up from different places. Right?
That's a very observant point, and nobody's actually brought that up before, but I think there's validity in it because I'm proud of the French, the way that they describe the art of living. It's the only country in the world that talks about the art of living. I'm proud of the American mindset that you can do anything in the world, and I'm proud of the UK because it's my home, it's where I grew up, it's where I got my education, so different elements from each. I'm proud of all of them, yeah.
I had a feeling you would have a good answer to this. somebody who actually thinks about where they're from and what the elements of those things are that makes you the person that you present to the world.
I think you'll agree with me that our business is a journey to finding your true authentic self on stage, right?
Right.
And it's not an easy thing to do.
I mean, when you mentioned before things that money can't buy when you're talking about the audience, showbiz is one of the last great meritocracies, you know.
Sure it is.
Can try and subsidize it. It's kind of said this before in my own life, but you know, you're either good or you're out. You can't buy your way into having people like you on a stage.
And that is a very valid point. And also it transcends cultural differences, religious differences.
Yes.
You know, financial differences, socioeconomic differences. Art brings people together.
Yeah.
Which is why this festival is so freaking valuable.
Oh, yeah.
The last bastion of freedom of speech on this planet, arguably, along with Adelaide, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's the two biggest fringe festivals in the world.
Sure.
Perth being the third. Shout out to Perth, hometown Perth.
He's giving the Australians lots of shout out.
I mean, nothing beats Edinburgh.
Edinburgh's amazing. Where else in the world, Magnus, can you walk down the street and see posters for my family and other people I slept with? Yeah. To be polite. Where else in the world can you do that?
Here in the Artist Bar, which we are at, the Assembly Artist Bar for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, people have a game where anytime in conversation, if you say what sounds like the title of a fringe show, people have to drink. It happens a lot. You play along at home. This is a deep wellspring here. You're a very good guest to have on because we can talk about a lot of very exciting things. You're on Fool Us with Penn and Teller. As far as the magicians go, people are going to wet their pants.
Yeah, that was a great experience. It came about from a show that I was doing in the West End where I had a character that was playing my own stooge, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I was being my own stooge, but they didn't realize it. That was the concept. And then we took that to the TV and it broke Twitter in the UK when it came out. It was one of the best things I've ever done.
Wow.
It was controversial. It was different. If you've not seen it, Chris Dugdale, Fool Us, look it up. It probably could not be shown today, Magnus.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay.
So, yeah, you need to check it out.
We're going to get some clips off of YouTube. Check it out.
But one of the best things I've ever done. And the reason we did it that way was because we just wanted to be completely different to everyone else. You know, we didn't want to be a guy doing card tricks or whatever. This was unbelievably different.
I mean, not that you haven't done close up. Like we've said before, you've gone through the whole gauntlet from
the
beginning
journey.
to end.
The journey, you know, began doing kids' parties, which I enjoyed. And it's interesting what you can learn from children's shows. Now, you're doing a science show here for kids, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So often you have to condition them to applaud. You know, kids,
yes.
Because they don't know the concept of what applause is. So that's
I find that you do that same with drunk adults.
my wife in the bedroom. But anyway, let's move on. That's another story another time. Alexis, if you heard that, that's a joke.
Hey, look, it's bound to get quite spicy up here. Everything is going to come with an asterisk.
And a warning, PG, 18 plus.
Yeah, this is most certainly an 18 plus. We're talking about boobs.
Boobs
True.
are lovely.
Yeah.
Boobs
Aren't they
are lovely.
fantastic?
Yeah.
Big fan.
It reminds me of the joke.
Oh,
Nick,
wow.
stop-
This
stop me
reminds you of a
if
joke.
yeah.
Kel Surprise.
So the wife says to the husband, how can I make my boobs bigger? And he says, just grab the toilet roll and rub it between them. And she goes, that won't work. He goes, yeah, but it has with your ass. So let's move on. Let's move on.
Hey, that's
Very
the
bad.
asterisk.
Cut it
Hey-o.
out. Leave it in.
This is what I'm talking about. Like backstage, there's a great deal of banter going on. The air is never empty. It's always full of something joyous and or probably should be edited out. You never know.
It's almost unleashed, isn't it, in the dressing room? Because we've all got these little cubicles, so you don't have to see facial expression as you deliver the punchline.
Ah, yeah.
You know?
You could just.
It's like
a
walking
great
with
way to
someone,
try
you know.
material. Yeah. Right. Yeah. How long have you been doing Edinburgh for?
It's my 12th year.
Wow.
Yeah, so the first year I came, I lost $5,000. I worked my ass off. I lost £5,000. And I sat on my bed, very distraught, like, do I quit Edinburgh? Or do I come back learning or implementing what I've learned? And the answer was, I'm going to come back and attack it again. And I'm so pleased I did. I'm so pleased.
Wow.
But it's been an interesting journey and not an easy one. For any of the critics out there of any art, all I'd say is you write a show, you bring it to Edinburgh, and you see how you do it. You know, that is the litmus test. That is the litmus, right?
The saying goes, you always eat a shit sandwich on your first
course you
round because you have to know what the bottom tastes like and then...
And sometimes there's a double shit with cheese, but you just got to keep eating it. And then you carry on.
And eventually you wind up eating a shit sandwich and
With
shitting
steak.
glory. Yeah, you can have it on the side.
And shit and fairy dust. So, you know.
Sometimes you go and order a filet mignon and just order a steak sandwich as a side, just for nostalgia's sake.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. In answer to your question, I am glad I came back. You know,
Well, so are we.
Well, thank you.
I mean, you were talking about discipline and your can-do, like from your father and just from your history and, well, and your martial arts. And
Yeah,
things.
I don't give up. I don't give
Yeah.
up. You know, if I get knocked down, which all of us have, we always get up. You always get up, and it's often the people who just get up the most are the most successful, and it's that simple and that hard, right?
That's one of those phrases I've always really liked. I think it was Eddie Bunker, the jewel thief, who I got this one from, was persistence beats everything.
Yeah.
Persistence beats luck and talent
Yeah.
and privilege.
Yeah.
Persistence will always win.
If you keep showing up, if you want to do something, you just show up, and you might be terrible for many years, but
Yeah.
keep showing up, as we all have been.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we all look at tapes back in the day and go, "Holy crap, I was bad." That's not even me. That's
Oh, wow.
subtitle that and put an image of a mask on it. But you know, it is you, and that's part of your development and part of your creative development. Yeah. But I think Edinburgh, you can run in stuff, you can learn, you can watch your footage. You know, we tape every show we do, we watch it, and sometimes a line comes from an audience member, or sometimes you come up with a line that you hadn't thought of before, and it stays in the show.
That's how the show's always evolved, right? You get those tiny little changes. And especially if you're doing a season like this with so many.
Yeah, you can polish, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Polish.
So once you've polished the show,
Mhm.
where are you taking it? I mean, you've performed for royalty and
Yeah,
you're
so
in Royal Caribbean and
yeah, I headline for Royal Caribbean.
Yeah.
The Queen. The Queen is an interesting story. I'm in London in what can be best described as an upmarket burger and salad joint, right? And I'm doing like close up magic.
okay.
And there are these two old ladies there who are like 18-year-old hooligans in an 84-year-old body.
Woo girls.
Woo girls.
Yeah, we love woo girls. So
And-
80-year-old woo girls.
They're giving the lines back, Magnus. They're giving the innuendo back.
Oh, beautiful.
And I just thought, this is very special. It's an interesting dynamic.
And one of them was the Queen, is that it? What the?
They pull their face number. And at the end of the show, they said, Her Majesty would absolutely love this. Do you have a card? So I'm like, there you go. You never know who's in your audience. Right?
What?
So I give them the card, and they said, you will be getting a call in the next 2 weeks from Buckingham Palace. So I never poo-pooed it because you don't know, but equally I thought it's a bit bizarre.
Oh, yeah.
But there you go. Anyway, within 2 weeks, there's a call on my mobile phone. It's Buckingham Palace. And
Wait,
it's the-
okay, when you get the call, does it like caller ID? Does it just say Buckingham Palace on there?
I'll be honest, I can't remember, but I think it was just an 0208 number or whatever it was, a bog standard London number. But I can't-
Okay.
no trumpeteering or
Right.
Her Majesty's her late Majesty's office.
Wow.
And they said, we heard about your act. We want to hire you for the Queen. I said, right, straight up, let me stop you right there. I'd be love to do it, and I'm going to charge you the same as I charge everybody else because this is how I make my living. And they
Yeah.
said, absolutely fine. I said, I won't screw you financially. Just to be upfront, you pay what everyone else pays. And they said, absolutely fine. So they booked it in, and it was the Centenary Royal Windsor Horse Show where she was a guest. She was on a night out with her friends, if you can imagine such a thing. So there's 10 tables that I'm looking after. And then I brought in 2 other magicians to do 10 tables over there, 10 over there. And she's on one, Philip's on the other, and various dignitaries and well-to-do people. And so I'm working the table. I'm stealing a lot of watches that night. okay?
Oh, yeah.
So you get the watch behind it, and they're all looking over. He's got another one. Look.
And what's over there?
And then sort of towards middle of the evening, this guy comes over, plums in his, are you coming to Her Majesty's table right now? They're asking for you. I said, well, they're eating their dinner right now. As soon as they're done, I'll be over. And they said, well, don't forget about us. I said, she's the freaking Queen. I said, I'm not going to forget about you. I'll be over. So I go over and I'm stood there, and she is talking.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm stood here.
Yeah. I mean,
And
most
so
of her job is talking to people.
I've got to
yeah.
interrupt her because I'm stood here and I'm ready to start.
Oh.
But she's chatting away to her mate. She hadn't even seen me because she's like this.
I love how you're getting like more West London the further this story goes on,
Thank
because
you,
you're
darling.
about to talk about the Queen.
By the end of it, I'll be Scottish. Yeah, I might go through a dodgy Birmingham phase, but I'll get up to Scotland in the end.
Right.
So I said, excuse me, Your Majesty, ladies and gentlemen. And then with that, she stopped, and you're in at that point. So there's 2 things I was told not to do. Don't touch her, and don't, get her to sign something or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's ma'am as in Jan, and you're well away. Funny story, just before I went on, there was a phone on my call that was a hidden number, and I answered the call, and it says, is that Chris Dugdale? And I said, yes, speaking. He says, Robert Hughes Jones here from the Royal Protection Squad. I said, fine, good evening, Robert. And he said, well, where are you right now? I said, I'm having a ham sandwich back. And he goes, well, what are you having with your ham sandwich? I said, why do you need to know that? He said, well, I just wanted to know when you'll be free to meet the boys so we can introduce us to you and you'll know who we are. I said, that's fine. I'll be done in about 10 minutes. He goes, well, what else are you eating with your ham sandwich? And this thing went on, right? And I said, why do you need to? He goes, it's me, you bastard. And it was my brother. Prank call before I'm entertaining the Queen. He got me so bad. He got me so bad. And I'm like, you bastard.
Oh, boy.
You absolute bastard. Yeah,
Wow.
but bottom line, she was great. At the end of the show, little card comes out of the box. It's folded and signed. And she just turns to all her friends. She goes,
It's absolutely impossible.
and I never forget it. Then I go to Philip's table. He's hammered. He is hammered. He's on the sauce.
Wait, Philip was hammered?
He's on the
That-
sauce.
Surely not.
And I'm stood
Wow.
right next to him, and the dessert is not making his mouth. Okay. Every spoonful of custard is ending on his trousers. So as I'm there, it's like consistently, like they're never making it. And I go, excuse me, sir, but you've got a load of custard on your trousers down there. He goes, don't worry about that. Just get on with the bloody card tricks. And I thought that's one of the best things I've ever heard. That is.
From what I understand of him, he's quite the razor tongue. So having him be hammered when you first show up.
It was a classic piece of comedy.
Yeah.
And he was good value, and I was giving it to him. And
Yeah.
The reason I think I was successful, I've done 14 shows for the British royal family in total.
Wow.
And the reason I think I was quote unquote successful with them is because I just treated them like a normal. Like it's all yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full. So they're sick of it.
Yeah.
So as soon as you get this dude that comes along and treats them with respect, but has fun with them.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you can walk up and say, excuse me, sir, you got custard on your trousers.
I'm presuming it's custard. It's a little bit yellow down there, but who knows?
Well,
There's
he's
a
old.
lake.
Well, if that's what started it out, like you just said, it's about being genuine. And there's that journey of finding out who you genuinely are. I mean, the further you get, the more likely you are to have these kind of, because no matter whether you're the Queen or, there's a whole bunch of drunken folks here at Edinburgh on a Saturday night, people see what that is.
And I think fear gets in the way of so many artists' development because they're scared of showing their true self in front of an audience for
Right.
fear of not being liked. But what we all learn as we get on is that you find your audience, and some people will hate you no matter what
Yeah.
you do, and that's absolutely fine. In fact, it's better to be loved by a group and hated by another than to be sort of apathetically liked by the
yes.
majority.
Absolutely. They say, the opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is ambivalence.
Yeah, which is exactly what you don't want.
Yeah.
But it takes, courage, it takes balls and persistence to show up as your authentic self and to know and accept that you might not be their cup of tea, and that's fine. Because my mate is a very successful musician and he hates you too. And I said, I doubt Bono cries on his pillow every night going, he doesn't like me. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's all about the experience that they have during the show. No matter whether you're a comedian, musician, a magician, it's not about you, the artist. It's about the audience and that collective group experience and memory they're going to take away from that show.
When we're talking about an audience, okay, when you're emceeing or in your, a singular point in front of an audience of people, you can turn them all into this one organism, and this one organism that you're interacting with here, being able to flow and kind of control where people are headed and what they're going to be thinking next. And I mean, this obviously part of a magician's arsenal is the misdirection and getting people to think one thing, the old bait and switch. And but having everyone breathing the same, having their heartbeats all beating as one and having one bigger mind to interact with, the sort of thing that I would really like to know about as far as insights into that kind of psychology, having worked for the Pentagon.
Well, I think it's about the most important thing for all of us is rhythm. It's rhythm of what you're presenting and it's rhythm of their reaction. And you being not only the artist and creating that moment, but almost being the director of their rhythm and directing them through the entertainment experience. Many people, unfortunately, are sheep and they follow the group leader. Now, whoever that group leader is within your audience, whether it's a couple of brash New Yorkers who are the first to react to your gag, or whether it's the CEO surrounded by a bunch of workers at a corporate, and if the CEO laughs, then, it's okay to laugh. But you have to orchestrate and direct the rhythm of their reaction.
Absolutely. That's very insightful. That's
I believe,
yeah.
And you have
There's
to show up as yourself and you have to keep that dynamic going, and they have to know and understand from you what energy you're bringing to the game. Now, I hear you step out every night with incredible energy, and you're a wordsmith.
Oh, me? Oh.
Yes, you. I'm down in the dressing room minding my own business. I hear him upstairs, and it's a bloody joy because you go on and you give them that from your soul, that energy, and they can't help but feed off that, right?
Well, that's the hope. Yeah. The more genuine you are when you first walk out there.
And I think another thing to also understand as an artist is it doesn't matter if they're not hugely loud in response. You get audiences of different types, right? You get the screamers, the shouters, the standers, but sometimes you get an audience who are really loving what you're doing and they're just absorbing.
You do get though. I mean, you come down and you say something like, "That was so lovely." They were loving it. They were a cozy audience, but they weren't like. That happens sometimes.
It does happen. And do you
You
know
just
what?
wanna
That's
make 'em feel
absolutely
good.
fine. But if you're new to the game, you might mistakenly think that that's not okay.
Oh yeah,
As long as you give a great show, that's all you can do.
and just remember that they're good people and they're here. They paid money to see you, so yeah, you have a responsibility to
To deliver
make them be
every
good.
time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you must have garnered some advice for some very excited and famous and successful showbizy people. You get to have some conversations with some real.
I do. Richard Branson, I've done a lot for him. He's a lovely human being. His most important elements and advice are be happy, first of all,
Right.
and be kind. Okay? And he thinks...
Do you say Richard Branson or Jesus Christ?
Well, they look similar.
Hey, yeah.
But Branson sandals cost a lot more, brother.
Whoa. I just see
And
Jesus
he ain't
in a
no
hot air balloon.
He ain't no virgin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his mum and dad, he said the most important thing about his parents from his perspective was they were happy. And
Yeah.
that fed through to him as a kid. So I don't know if you saw that thing where he went, it's like Undercover Boss, but he got all these people into Heathrow to become a manager in Virgin. And this sort of old guy picked them up in the cab, and they had pretty heavy luggage, and some of the people, the candidates, wouldn't help with the luggage. But what they didn't know is the old cab driver was Branson himself.
Mm.
So he's observing them all when they think they're being not observed. Right? And isn't that the key to being a good person, is how you behave behind people's back when no one's looking?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's really the key, right? I think.
We happen to have an editor of this very show who we were talking about that. There's a certain kind of people that are traditionally associated with liking trains, that whether they were being observed or not, would do the ethically correct thing.
Okay.
And it's just one of those things about just having that kind of mindset. You just do things that are right. I think all of us around here are kind of like that because we understand how people operate. And the more honestly dishonest you are, the easier it is to do the right thing. It's a lot easier to do what's right if you know what's true.
But there is a famous psychologist that says that magicians understand people way better than any clinical psychologist ever would. And do you know what? I don't necessarily disagree with him, because we are deceiving for entertainment purposes day in, day out, you know, night in, night out.
Yeah.
And we are honest with our dishonesty. They come into those four walls knowing that they will be hopefully entertained above all, but deceived to an extent. And that's part of the rules. Those are the rules of the game, right? So it's a fascinating sort of gladiatorial environment of the psychological mind and the meeting of minds between the artist and the audience, that cerebral intertwine and where it goes, you know?
The idea that, like you said, when you enter that room, there are rules in place. Whether they know it or not, they have an understanding that they're in a deception zone here. The fact that that can be delightful can often be in itself already the source of eye-opening stuff. I mean, that's something that you can always play with, right? Like,
It's the complete opposite of politics.
Oh my gosh! Now that, yes, it really is. Oh my gosh, that's insightful as heck.
Because there's only one member of society who's currently telling the truth worldwide, and that's the comedian.
Oh
The
yeah,
comedian's the only person currently in our world telling the absolute truth.
it's a very, very hard world to get true information in anymore. I think about this all the time.
So do I.
Yeah.
I know. It's the more you think about it, the more interesting it is, and the different rabbit holes you go down. But yeah, so my advice, coming back to your previous question, is you are the director of their entertainment experience.
Yeah,
And sometimes they just need to be led.
absolutely. Well, and given permission. You give them permission
to
and you
lead.
tell them where,
Yep.
where we're going.
Sometimes they'll go there on their own,
Sure.
or certain members of your audience will, and then the others will follow. But sometimes they need a gentle push.
Okay, let's get into celebrity goss. Why
Sex,
not?
drug, and rock and roll.
Yeah,
baby.
baby. I
Mm.
want to hear about all the times you, I don't know, blown in a petting zoo or whatever the heck. Yeah, all of the amazing craziness.
Most
I
of it,
just
I'm not,
know.
most of it I can't talk about.
Exactly.
There was,
Well, you know, I'm not going to ask you to break any NDAs here.
No.
Touring all the time and meeting all of these crazy people, some of them must have some crazy stories. Or is everyone just
no,
like
absolutely?
normal all the time?
And the beauty of our job is you meet them at that level, don't you? That level that is not the sort of fanboy looking up to the idol, but it's
Yeah.
almost an equal playing field because they
Yeah.
become your fans essentially. Did a lot for Jimmy Page, who's a lovely, lovely guy from Led Zeppelin, and he just talks in a very lovely and interesting way. So, right, Magnus, how you doing? I'm Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, and Chris, can you show me that card trick again? Because that blew my mind. And I'm like, you shouldn't be talking like that. You are the rock god of the world, loveliest man in the world.
Yeah.
But funny story, after I've done a few gigs when we hung out, and we once took this epic walk, an hour-long walk about a lake, and it was just me and Jimmy, and he told me about his life. And I'm like, once again, money can't buy.
Right, exactly.
But the stories. He said, Chris, quite honestly, I can't remember 20 years of my life. I'm like, I'm not overly surprised by that, but loveliest man in the world. And there
Yeah.
was a time prior to the reformation of Led Zeppelin, you know, the reunion, where he could go out relatively anonymously, and he enjoyed that.
Of course,
He
yeah.
enjoyed the anonymity, just albeit for that window of time. And there's a funny story. He says, Chris, I'm coming on the train. And we were meeting him for dinner in Windsor with my great friend, Mickey Anthony. And Mickey Anthony is a pop star from the 70s, producer. Mickey Anthony, on record, best showbiz stories in the world ever, none of which are repeatable on here, or else I will go to jail. Great guy. So he introduced me to Jimmy, and Jimmy's on. You know, Chris, I was just minding my own business, reading my newspaper, and these two lovely ladies from Japan asked me for a photo, and I said, where would you like me to stand? And Chris, it was funny because they wanted me to hold the camera and take a picture of them. They didn't realise who he was, so that was just. And he loved that.
Well, yeah.
He loved it.
Very much understand if you're Jimmy Page. I mean, that in itself.
But
that's
after the
hilarious.
reunion, that stopped immediately. That stopped. And so the funny story where this is all leading is months after, you know, I'd done a few gigs for him, hang out with him. I see him in a shop in London. And I go, Jimmy, all right? And he didn't see me. He was just like looking at some clothes, and he did not want to get involved. He's like that. And I said, Jimmy, it's Chris here. And he goes, oh, sorry, Chris. Because I thought you were some fanboy. So lovely man.
Oh, gosh. One of the things that's been really great hanging around backstage with you, you really genuinely have a talent for impersonations here. And,
It's
you know,
something that I like doing as a hobby. I've never used it in my show. Well, I do one impersonation in the show, but you know, I try and develop certain ones. But yeah, I find it interesting, and if you can do it really well, greatest admiration to you, because some of these guys out there are incredible. I mean,
I've spent a lot of time with voice actors, some pretty high-profile folks, and I think you're honestly just as good as most of them.
I'll pay you
Yeah.
later, Magnus.
Hey! Oh, yeah, there's 50 pounds going
Easy,
away.
tiger,
Absolutely.
easy.
Do you speak any other languages?
Yeah, so I speak English, obviously French, German, and a little bit of Spanish.
Well, I'd say that counts, yeah, as other languages, yeah.
French is a given because I was born there. And
Right.
I spoke all my life. German, I had a German auntie. And Spanish, I'm Duolingo. Yo hablo español con Duolingo.
Hey!
Sí.
Love me some Duolingo. Oh,
Sí.
my gosh, we're going to become Duolingo friends.
Yes, we are.
Oh, my God, I'm like less than a week away from...
Don't show me your streak, though.
No?
It might be too long.
I was just
Easy
about to
go.
brag about it, too.
You
God,
don't
we
need
always-
to. I've heard the audience reaction.
Yeah, we're
I know.
backstage always talking about the length of my streak.
I know.
But Duolingo has increased it, yeah, exponentially.
So yeah,
okay.
to come back to celebrities, the other one I wanted, there's two more I want to talk about. Is
Yeah,
Roger
please.
Moore, James Bond,
What?
the nicest human being you
No.
ever meet.
Oh, he's my favorite James Bond as well.
Is he really?
Oh, yeah. People refer to this as like the camp Bond era, but
Yeah.
man, oh, God, it was great. Roger Moore story, please. I
So
beg
he
of you.
hires two of us for his private party, and there's so many things happened that night that I'll never forget. But one of them was just going to his table, and I didn't realize his dad was a magician. So that straight away sort of caught me off guard.
Oh,
and
wow.
So he has an appreciation for the art on many different levels. And I do this trick. Basically, the idea is I predict what dog you're going to name out of every breed in the world, and they name the dog. You turn it over. and it's correct. I call it doggy style, right? And it's
Right.
a great little piece. So Roger Moore is into this trick, and he's like, Chihuahua. And I'm like, turn it over, and the Chihuahua, right? And he goes, can I try that again? And I said, go on then. So I turn my back on him, do another prediction, and I put it on the table. Bearded collie. He turns out, and now he's losing his shit because it's a bearded collie on the freaking table, right? He said, once more. I said, now you're getting greedy, Bond. And he laughed. So one more goes down, Pekingese. And he turned out, he fell off his chair. So he said, right, you must come and sit down. So we sat and had coffee, and he told us all about his dad and all about his childhood and about magic and the appreciation for the art, and just a wonderful man. But even at that age, such a stud. I mean, even in the mid-80s, such a stud. Man. All these girls all the time. Oh, bring them over for the photo. That's fine. Hello. And in the background, the band's doing the Bond riff down, and all the girls are appearing. Oh, bring them all over. It's just fine. Oh. So they're all around.
Oh, man.
Anyway, we said our goodbyes, and I just said, it was genuinely an absolute joy to meet you. You're a lovely man, and, you're just a great guy. And he said, well, thank you. We've had a wonderful time. Now, go over to that man over there, and he will pay you. So it's like you look at it, and there's this tall, skinny, lanky dude over there, and he's beckoning me over. He said, how much do we owe you? And we told him, and he gave us this wad of cash. I mean, probably 4 or 5 times our fee. And he goes, just go and have fun. And I said, don't mind me asking. I said, but this is Sir Roger Moore's party, and you're paying me. I said, what do you do for a living? Best answer I've ever heard. He goes, Skype. He says, do you like Skype? I said, I love it. He goes, I invented it. He just sold Skype the week before for $3 billion. And so hence he was paying for Bond's party.
Wow.
Great story.
Wow.
Man. He's such a nice guy, man. I mean, awesome.
It's always nice to hear about a guy surrounded by girls and this kind of a nice stud.
What was so lovely was it wasn't creepy at all.
No.
It was just a joy. Here's that man, let's face it, in his I don't know at what age he passed away, but I guess it was early 80s. He was. And still looking incredibly good for his age. Just a living stud. Emanating joy and bring them over. Oh. Just wonderful. And then,
who's going to say no to a photo with Roger Moore?
Classic icon. And just, he is on record for saying his proudest work is UNICEF, helping, all those kids around the world. And that was from his heart and soul. And the other one who's just the loveliest human being in the world was Beyoncé. I did a private show for her.
Oh my gosh.
And Jay-Z. And she, on record, was just the most humble, loveliest person.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll go and ask you a question now. In our business, the true A-listers, what percentage are nice people?
Oh, like toppity tops? Almost all of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's easily 95%.
Anyone who's like way, way up at the top, invariably super nice.
So why is that?
Well, I mean, are you putting the cart before the horse? You don't.
Is it the chicken or the egg?
I figure in order to get there, it's one of those things that comes back to you, right? The nicer you are to everybody.
I believe that. I believe that people want to work with you. There's some kind of magic dynamic that's created with the relationship off stage and on. People, what comes around goes around. Not necessarily from who you give to. You might not get it back from them, but I do believe that you get it back. Yeah. And there's some, just some lovely, lovely people. Beyoncé, I was meant to be there a couple of hours. I ended up being there 6 hours. And she went around. I was doing close up for all her friends and stuff, and she followed me around everywhere I went. And at the end,
to introduce you to friends.
But just to watch it again because she's just so fascinated by it. I don't think she'd ever seen close up like this before. And then at the end, she goes, "Would you mind doing something for everyone? If, to make it the big thing?" I said, "Of course." So they're all round, and I didn't have my, tunes with me. I said, Jay-Z, spin me a tune. So he's on his phone.
No way.
Looking for a tune.
Well, you're just like, hey, Jay-Z, just spin something up. Wow.
And then he plays it, and I do this little piece of music, brings the house. They were just great. I went shooting with them, clay pigeon.
What? But how long after the...
Yeah. No. This was actually at the gig. So They had a clay pigeon thing
You're
going.
just like, okay, hey everyone, magic's over. We're going to go out the back with Jay-Z and Beyonce.
The interesting thing, Magnus, is that after that event, I had some pictures with them and they were very happy to have a picture. Super nice people. And I posted it on Facebook and I said, you meet some famous people and then you meet some true stars.
Mm-hmm.
But these just weren't true stars. They're actually just really nice people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Apparently, this thing went viral, which I didn't know. This picture went round the world. I get a call at midnight. What the fuck have you just done? I go, excuse me? And it's the booker of this party. And he goes, what are you doing sharing pictures on your Facebook of Beyonce? And I said, what do you mean? They're very happy to do it. He goes, well, what about the NDA you signed? I said, I didn't sign an NDA.
Uh-huh.
Nobody gave me an NDA. He goes, well, I'll never hire you again. Phone goes down. Boom. I'm like, that's not my problem, mate. So
That's
yeah,
a terrible shame.
not a nice person.
Wow.
Apparently, I was meant to have been given an NDA, but it was never A, mentioned or B, presented.
I mean, I happen to know that Beyonce and Jay-Z are both huge viewers of our show. So if you're wondering why Chris hasn't been back, it's because your booker was kind of being a jerk.
So just come direct next time.
Yeah, give him a call. Just call him direct. I bet you when Beyonce calls, it's a
Probably a
being
hidden
recognized on
number.
the phone.
Yeah, might make a little tune. Joking aside, lovely person, lovely person. I'm all about that. You know, I'm all about it. I treat everyone the same, whether you're the queen or the queen. I don't care.
Yeah.
We're here for a blink of an eye. Let's have some fun. You know, let's have a party.
Bingo. Absolutely correct. Here's a question that I have. People that you're playing for, you never know. People that you're interacting with on a day-to-day basis, you never know what kind of connection they have or who they are or what sort of, secret squirrel business they've been up to. Have you ever had one of those scenarios where you're just doing a gig and there's somebody watching or somebody gets in touch with you? It's just Joe from the cleaning shop and it winds up being, well, you've already done this for the queen.
It does happen more often than you think.
Yeah.
And it does come from sources you're not expecting.
Mm.
And therefore, you should deliver the greatest show you can at all times. The show must go on and just be nice to people because, don't badmouth other artists.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
keep your head down, work hard, be nice to people, just be professional, and just get on with stuff. And it happened the other day here at Edinburgh, like an absolutely incredible lead. So we'll see where that goes. And, you just don't know.
I think I know what there was something that happened in your own show just a
Mhm.
few nights ago.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
where that goes.
hey, mum's the word here, but that's, exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The chance to just be nice to all of these people that are just out there in the world, and it does come back to you all the time.
Yeah, I strongly think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think arrogance comes from a place of insecurity most often.
Yeah.
Feeling hard done by. Really, it's just this shield for something that lies underneath that, basically, let's be honest, we all need to work on ourselves, don't we, all the time? And
100%. I've never been more aware of that
Yeah.
than I am now.
the greatest magician I've ever seen, there's two greatest magicians I've ever seen. The first one was Phil Jay. He's a guy from Wales. He's the
Mhm.
guru of close-up magic. He taught me that relationships are never a static thing. They are always evolving. So it
Mm.
doesn't matter who your relationship's with, whether it's your partner, your mother, your brother, they're always changing. So they always require quote unquote work.
Mm.
But that goes the same with relationship to yourself, right? That's always changing too. As
Mhm.
we're getting older, we're getting more experience, we're developing. That relationship, the way that we talk to ourselves has to change as well, right?
Absolutely.
Phil's an amazing guy. He was in the steel works in Wales, and he had a piece of equipment fall on his leg, and he was in hospital for 1 year, and he was told he'd never walk again. So, in the period of a year, he read magic books 12 hours a day in the hospital bed. And he got a ridiculously low level of compensation when he came out, which he blew every single penny taking his kids to Disneyland so that he had to become a professional magician. There was no room for failure, or else he wouldn't have a roof on his head and he wouldn't have food to eat. He went on to become the #1 closer magician in the United Kingdom.
That's how he created the scenario to ensure I'm definitely going to go do this because
And if you're ever looking
Amazing.
for an amazing guest, get him on this show because he has more words of wisdom than probably all of us put together.
Do love me
He's
some wisdom.
He's amazing. The other one is Lance Burton, the $100 million magician in
yeah.
Vegas. I work for him. Nicest guy in the world.
wow. Oh, well, check this amazing segue out, Chris. You're going to love this. All right. Speaking of nicest guys, I tell you what, you most certainly qualify. I knew I was going to like you when I first met you. You stopped me in the hallway and said, "Hey, Magnus, you're a great guy." And I thought, gosh, this guy's got fabulous taste. I really like him. Yeah, he really likes me, and I love that in people. I'd like to say it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Aye.
Hey.
I can't believe that it's been like an hour already.
It's already been an
Feels
hour.
like 10 minutes, man.
I know, like having a chat with you, just having a wee, tete-a-tete.
A wee
As it
dram.
were.
A wee dram of the minds.
Put your dram in my dram, and we'll mix the drams, and then before you know it, it'll have a different. I don't know what you call it. We have a blended malt. Fabulous.
A blended malt of the minds. Hey, no, it's been a pleasure, man. And I didn't realize it's been so quick. Like an hour has zoomed by.
When you got this much charisma flying out towards the camera like a goddamn fire hose.
Like a Concorde, man, flying into the sunset.
Yeah.
I have many more stories, but maybe have me back on
Yeah, well,
once you got 50,000 monthly listeners.
you heard the man. Like, follow, subscribe. If you want to hear him do his Jimmy Page voice again, then yeah.
I will, if you get me back on, tell you the story about my Robocock going through security in North American airport. But that's for another time.
You fucking tease. All right, well, okay, now, if you don't follow, I'm going to be very, very upset. Because if I don't hear the story of a Robocock. Chris, thank you.
Thanks, pal.
Mr. Chris Dugdale, an absolute pleasure. You've been listening to me. I hump this incredibly charismatic and fabulous individual. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. The Patreon is going nuts. If you've got brain one in the melon on your neck, you're going to be sticking around for all of the rest of them. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you for the next one.
Don't you know we all cheer for Madness Danger D?
It's absolutely impossible.